everybody to Jokes in Minor. We got a really good show for you. I'm going to bring up some other comics, but I want to let you know we are here for the recording of a very hilarious comic by the name of Elliott Rose. Make some noise for him, folks. He is going to go down in the histories of the internet recordings. It will be available worldwide. This is going to be something that's going to be a really cool milestone. And we're really happy that you paid very good money to be here to enjoy it. So we want to let you know we got a lot of appreciation. We're going to have a really good show for you. I got some awesome comics. We got Sadie Blake. Woo! We got Brian Haigh. Woo! We got DeVaney. And then we're going to bring out the tri-tip steak perfectly cooked of the evening, Mr. Elliott Rose. He's just gonna really nail it. All right, cool. So yeah, like I said, my name's your host. I am Ian O'Mara, that sort of thing. That is my name. It is your host. That's what I'm here for. So I think about a lot of weird things that people say. You ever hear people say things and it just sounds really, really strange to you? I heard a dude on Twitter use the term militant feminist as an insult, right? Now, I got to tell you, the dude who used the term self-described as an MRA, he thinks that stands for men's rights activist. I think it stands for misogynist, racist asshat. You be the judge. But he used that term as an insult. Now, when you use a term like that, it shows you don't know a fucking thing about the military or feminism. Come on, man. Come on, dude. Like, I don't know, man. I know a little bit about both, and I hear a term like that, and I think it could be a positive thing, like Colonel Maya Angelou. You know what I mean? That'd be an awesome militant feminist, right? Piloting a C-130 low over a hot war zone, dropping off troops that handed out Arabic translated copies of I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings, you know? That would be awesome. I wonder, would militant feminists like run in formation, holding rifles, singing songs about ruling the world with their genitals like our military has for centuries? You know what I mean? That's like a tradition. I know, we did it. I went through boot camp. It was cool. I had a really easy time listening to my drill instructors in boot camp because I spent so much time in high school listening to heavy metal. That's how that translates. When you like really try to understand Pantera and Sepultura, oh man, drill instructors are super easy. It's like clear, like not to brag or nothing, but I think I'd still be able to understand one drill instructor screaming at me while two others played guitar and drums. I'd totally be able to do that. Here's a fun fact. This is totally true. The Air Force awards a ribbon only to the people that can finish boot camp. That's something they wear on their uniform. A ribbon for finishing boot camp. That's like the diploma you get for finishing kindergarten. You're supposed to finish kindergarten. Does it make you special? Like, okay, why is it on the uniform? Like, who gets to wear the uniform but not the ribbon, right? Sorry, Recruit Miller, we're going to have to send you home for inability to march down the way without urinating yourself. But we want you to hang on to that uniform, son, because you're a really nice guy. But you can't wear the ribbon because you didn't make it to the end. I think about other weird things that I've heard people say that are like really, really common that make no sense to me, right? Easy as pie. Have you made one? It takes fucking hours. It takes hours. There's a lot of steps and ingredients. If you don't speak English natively, saying pie isn't easy either. That expression's terrible. I want to change it. Help me out, folks. Easy as quesadilla. Who doesn't love a good quesadilla? They're wonderful. They're easy. The name, the ingredients, and the instructions are one word. You take queso and tortilla, put them together to make quesadilla. It's easy as pie. I wasn't born yesterday. Was that a thing? Were people swindling newborn kids? Right? What were they getting out of that? Right? Hey kid, would you like to buy some land underneath the hospital? Sure, mister, that sounds like a great deal. Here's all the money I earned over 30 hours. Where do I sign? Hey kid, do you want to buy some land underneath the hospital? Hey, I'm not falling for that, mister. I wasn't born yesterday. I was born Wednesday. Oh, man, that cracks me up. Epic. Epic? I got the new iPhone 6. It is so epic. Does it let you call your grandparents in 1945? That would be pretty epic, right? I had a lasagna the other day, bro. It was epic. did it give you the chef's memories when you took your first bite? Because that would be epic. That would be super epic. Oh, man. I work at a vegan, organic, gluten-free restaurant, which means I know a lot about people's allergies. Too much about people's allergies. For those that don't know, vegan is an English word that stems from the ancient Greek word veganos. That means malnourished into elite politeness. That is true. That's totally true. I made that up for this show, but that's true. It's a really cool job, though. A lot of respect for the vibe that they have to respect all the coworkers. First day I started, coworker introduced herself as Mally, said that she identified as a female, and then asked me what my preferred pronoun was. Never been asked that ever in my life, for obvious reasons. But the thing is that I felt appreciative because I actually personally prefer a gender-neutral plural pronoun, so I told her, please use ustedes. That's how I identify. Don't use usted. I'm way too large to be usted. I don't know if you've ever seen me fit inside of a Honda or an airplane seat, but I am not one person. And the reason that I prefer Spanish is because I was born in the part of North Mexico that the United States currently calls Southern California. That's where I'm from. I'm not fluent in Spanish. I'm near fluent because the way I stay brushed up on Spanish is I watch my favorite movies in Spanish and then get really, really stoned. That's not how you're supposed to practice. But it is how you're supposed to watch Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, because that's the way to do it. I swear to God, it's the best way to watch it. It's more epic, and it's actually epic, intergalactic light space travel. That's epic, right? So it's more epic in Spanish, especially in the end when Vader and Luke are fighting. There's a lot going on there. Vader cuts off Luke's hand, stands right over him. Oh, Obi-Wan nunca te dijo qué pasó con tu padre. And Luke's all, él me dijo suficiente. Me dijo que tú lo mataste. No, yo soy tu padre. It's totally the way to do it. It's awesome. All right, folks, I'm going to leave you with this one before I bring up your next comic. I still do volunteer services for the community. I am a non-emergency cannabis disposal tech. Let me know if you need my help. I'm on call 24/7. You got unused weed lying around the house, let me know. I will get rid of all of it. All of it. Okay, cool, folks. Are we ready to get this show started? All right, cool. Folks, I want you to make a lot of noise for your first comic coming to stage, the very hilarious, the very wonderful Sadie Blake.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Excited to be here? Yeah! Good. We're going to have a good time. I am mad at my vibrator. Yeah, doesn't cuddle after sex. Because it's a dick. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like to start off with a really stupid joke, because I feel like it makes all my other jokes seem funnier. You know? Like, set expectations low. That concept does not apply to sex, by the way. Got to bring all your A material right up front. Luckily, all I have up front is A material. Thank you. Did you guys hear about the, I was just going to call it what it is, the terrorists in Oregon who took over that federal building? Yeah, that's cool. Way to go, guys. Did you hear about the counter-protest that's happening? People are sending them boxes of dildos. Boxes and boxes. That's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard of. That is the best counter-protest I could think of. I do have one concern. What's going to happen to all those dildos when this is over? You can't just release them into the wild. That's irresponsible. So I'm going to be starting a dildo rescue. DildoFinder.com. I'm a crazy cat lady. I'll probably take 10. Let's just be honest. I dated a lady a while ago that was definitely outside of my tax bracket. And we get together and she goes, oh, I just picked up a chandelier for my place. I'm in a nesting phase. First thing that came out of my mouth was, me too. Yeah, I'm nesting too. I like old newspapers. Twigs? Yeah, you're right. No second date. That's probably a bad idea. I have run into a bit of trouble, though, dating women. I don't have a good nickname for the, lady garden. Okay, not that one. That's fair. Like, snatch is a verb, right? Cunt is kind of an insult. Labia is a Pokemon. Labia. Or if you're going to be more accurate, Vulvasaur. Good news is, labia becomes clitorosaur. Clitorosaur uses squirt gun. It is super effective. My least favorite word for it, though, is pussy. I don't get that one. Vaginas aren't cats. I have cats. I know what they look like. This ain't it. Cats are bitchy and aloof. They don't like getting wet. All right, that's fair. I didn't deserve a laugh on that one. I prefer to think of mine as a puppy. She's friendly, she's playful, she likes meeting strangers. Loves her toys. Does not come when you call her. Yeah. I feel like things are going pretty well, though, for me, overall. I feel like my life's in a good place. I kind of wish I could go back in time and just talk to my 16-year-old self, you know, just let her know everything's going to be okay. Hey, little Sadie, hey, it's you from the future. Yes, we look like this now. Oh, things are great. Things are good. We moved to Seattle. We do stand-up comedy. Are we famous? Yes. So famous. Do I have any advice for you? Well, you know, stay in school, follow your dreams. Clearly that's working out. Oh, here's the thing. You're going to meet a boy. You'll fall in love. You'll lose your virginity to him. Don't get excited about that one. Here's the thing. When he tells you that if you stop having sex with him, he'll kill himself, let him. My name's Sadie Blake. You guys have been great. Let's get your host back out here, Ian!
Thank you, Sadie Blake. Fun fact about Sadie, I found out recently, she has a smile on her driver's license picture. That's like none other. It's the smile that says, yes, my middle name is actually Rocket Ship. So keep it going for Sadie, Rocket Ship Blake. That was awesome. Totally. Super awesome. All right. Speaking of awesome, next comic coming to the stage is also very hilarious, a wonderful human being, and I'm very stoked to be on the show with him. Make a lot of noise for Brian Haigh.
Hey, do you guys like Sadie? Yeah, she and I live together, so you have to like me by extension. Yeah, it doesn't work on our friends either. Have you guys been watching the news lately? Anybody? Yeah, no shit. If you're watching the news, there is no fucking reason to come to a comedy show. Shit is, I mean, I want to give up comedy because the news is funnier. I'm not sure if I could handle it though. Like, I mean, I thought journalism was dead, but I've been following this Flint water crisis, where there's lead and all the drinking water, and you know, I read these stories and these blogs and watch it on TV, and I'm just amazed at how good of a job they're doing, because there's absolutely no way that I could cover that story without using the word motherfucker. Governor total motherfucker. Or citizens of Flint totally fucked by total fuckers. Kids fucked forever. But you know, I mean, It's sad. It genuinely sad, but there are upsides. Like now, if those Flint kids forget their pencil, they just cut themselves. But unfortunately, they've forgotten how to read and write. So, bit of a mixed bag. I've also been watching them presidential debates. I want to be a moderator when I grow up. I've got a lot of questions. Yes, Governor. Do you believe in ghosts? No, answer the question. Yes or no? Yeah, it sucks having a job, I know. Follow-up question. What would happen if in the future 95% of all the jobs that anyone does now are done by robots and machines and computers? It's already happened, you motherfucker! You've got no plan at all! You believe in this old economy based on scarcity that doesn't even exist anymore. Fuck, we should all just turn to cannibalism! Shit is over. I want to tell you some good news, though. It's not all just lead, water, and cannibalism. I heard a rumor that Ray Charles used to drive drunk. I'm waiting for you all to carry me out of here on your shoulders for telling me that. Listen. Blind music legend Ray Charles used to operate an automobile under the influence of alcohol. It's the most badass thing I've ever heard. Like, I'm not here to encourage drunk driving or blind driving, but when life gives you lemons, fix yourself a cocktail and go batshit fucking crazy. We're all gonna die. A lot. Scientists predict that by the year 2100, the population of Earth is only going to be 100 million due to the effects of global warming. And we are not going to make it that far. This pyramid scheme we call a society is at the top of the roller coaster and heading down fast. Speaking of pyramids and roller coasters, you know those slides where you at the fair with a burlap sack and you ride down the slide on the burlap sack? I've always wanted to do that on a pyramid. Like, not like the pyramids at Giza, but like, you know, like the Louvre. It's smooth, you know, you get going real good. It's fun, you know. These fuckers like fun? Where was it? Oh yeah, we're all gonna die. I have no idea why any of us do anything other than fuck, eat cheesecake, and watch Steve Martin's The Jerk over and over again. Carpe diem, everybody. Have a good night.
Ryan Haigh. Not only did he bring information, he was telling me something earlier. Ray Charles actually used to operate a piano high on heroin, which is another really amazing fact. That dude has some talent. He was amazing. All right, cool. Speaking of talent and speaking of amazing, the next comic coming to the stage is super awesome. And afterwards, we're going to get Elliott up here for the recording. So it's just going to get better and better. And we appreciate you all being here. Make a lot of noise for your next comic coming to the stage. It's T.L. DeVaney.
Hello. Just going to start off by making a general disclaimer here. I'm not now, nor have I ever been, anyone's physical education teacher. Not because I'm fat. I mean, maybe that's why I'm not a PE teacher, but that's not why I feel the need to say that. And boy, am I fat. I mean, I'm not here to body shame anybody. I mean, whatever size you feel comfortable and beautiful at, I'm on board with you, but I'm just beyond that point with myself. I feel like I'm transforming into a superhero. I'll be known as the amorphous blob. And my superpower will be that every day I will magically transform myself into the shape of an outfit. I suffered a traumatic brain injury when I was a little kid, and the area of brain damage that I have is in visual spatial information processing. And so how I describe this to people is it's like being blind, but I can see things. So like, you know, the stuff is there, but my brain just doesn't know what to do with it in that way. And so the rest of my brain is always constantly chattering at me, trying to make up for that fact. And so what ends up happening a lot is I get really irritated about stuff, but it takes me about 10 seconds to catch up with why. And so, for example, like the other day I was in Joann Fabrics. Never mind why I was in Joann Fabrics, all right? This is all, we're all going on suspension of disbelief here, all right? So I'm in Joann Fabrics, and about 42 seconds into it, I realize I'm really irritated, but it takes me an additional 10 seconds for the thought to occur to me, why is the song that's playing over the loudspeaker in here not Material Girl by Madonna? Because we all know what the soundtrack in Joann Fabrics should be. It should be Material Girl, it should be Stitches, it should be Silver Threads and Golden Needles, it should be that song by the Scissor Sisters, and then it should be Carole King's Tapestry album. Am I right? Thank you. So I was in this coffee shop recently, and I don't normally go there, and I got to the front of the line, and the barista looked at me and said, what can I get started for you, sir? Ma'am. Sir? Now, in the first place, once you've run out of the two options in that option set, you don't gotta circle back on the thing, because you're still fucking confused. But then he looked at me and he said, you know what? You're really good looking. I'll just call you good looking. And up to this point in time, I did not realize that good looking was a preferred pronoun choice. But now that I do, I pick it. I totally pick that one. I feel like maybe I'm becoming a little compatible with other human beings, and that maybe this is a bit of a social phenomenon. Because I have a lot of people saying things to me lately like they're in a relationship with Netflix, or they've given up and they're just dating Netflix. And this just makes me feel bad because I feel like I can't even get Netflix to go out with me. Because all I ever do is spend 20 minutes finding out what it has to offer and then fall asleep. I'm going to leave you right there. Thanks, you guys. I've been TL DeVaney.
That was awesome, super awesome. All right. Thank you, TL DeVaney. Okay, folks, before I introduce the gentleman of the evening, I just wanted to say something real quick. This is going to be recording. It's going to go down like I was saying before, but the first thing that's going to be on the recording is your applause. So if you could, put as much love and joy as you have for Elliott and for comedy and for being on this recording, and just really, give it all your energy. Enjoy these jokes. He's a very intelligent, hilarious, and awesome human being, and he's got some really cool ideas, and I just want you to open your minds and your hearts and show a lot of love here. Can we do that? Are we cool with that? Yeah. Cool, right on. I really, really appreciate it. Okay, cool, folks. So, clap at different speeds and intensities. You'll totally remember your own clap, okay? Like, get it in there. Like, know your beats per minute, folks, It's like, especially if you're going to keep supporting comedy and get up to these recordings, that would be super awesome. All right, cool. All right. Let me clear my throat for a second. I'm got a massive cold, so I don't want to mess this up. And now, please put your hands together for Elliott Rose.
Oh, I'm not going to live up to that. All right. Well, thank you all for being here. The joke, what is it? This album's going to be called Jokes in Minor, right? And I got a text message from my friend. He said, Jokes in Minor? I was like, yeah. He's like, I like the name, buddy. I was like, oh, thanks, man. And he goes, yeah, it's austere, like your sadness. This is a pretty big deal for me, and I actually posted about it on Facebook. Only person that responded was my 80-year-old Aunt Barbara. She responded with, "Wish I could be there." Still laid up, though. Probably never gonna walk again. Love you, Aunt Barbara. All right, here's the thing. If you have a performer in your life and they're gonna go on stage for 40 minutes, don't say, "Hey, break a leg." I've already broken both of mine. And like, here's the thing. I should have responded with, "Oh no, my aunt is having a health crisis." Bummer. But I didn't. I laughed. On the toilet. It's already hard enough to explain a joke. Try explaining that. Thank God I don't live with anybody. Hey, Elle, you were laughing like a loon on the loo. Why? Oh, it's kind of funny, man. You see, I learned that my aunt is never gonna walk again. So, the joke writes itself. She's in Southern California. I used to live there, and I'm so glad to be performing in Seattle, man. I am. I grew up in a place called Awesome Town, California. Anyone ever hear of it? Good job. Good job. Just that silence. Awesome Town is just southwest of a place we like to call Cowschwitz, California. I grew up in a cultural mega center, you guys. And the only place I could do comedy was at a Marie Callender's. If you don't know what a Marie Callender's is, it's like a Denny's that's trying too hard, or a Sherry's that's putting on airs. And I learned very quickly, after about a year doing comedy there, that people who order off the Comfort Classics menu, both spelled with a K, to make it fun to read, are not the kind of people who want to hear jokes about the benefits of suicide. So I left there for Seattle, and I didn't realize this, but have you ever seen the anti-hitchhiking signs up here? Like, they look like this with an X through it, right? I'd never seen that before, and my honest-to-God thought was like, is Washington State anti-thumbs up? Like, do they not like good times here? Because if that's the case, we're going to get along just fine. I'm also terrible at directions, so thank God for Google Now. You know, you can just say where you need to go, and Google will direct you, like Pocket Theater, and it'll direct you, right? I was new to Seattle, and I was looking for a gig. I was looking for the bar where my gig was, and right before I was about to say the name, a dude cuts me off in traffic, and I say, "Oh, crap!" And Google heard that and gave me directions to Cleveland, Ohio. Google was like, "Hey, Elle, couldn't help it over here. You mentioned human excrement. Could I interest you in a 46-hour drive to beautiful downtown Cleveland, Ohio?" I always feel bad for Cleveland in that joke. I know what it feels like, man. I've been seeing a therapist for the better part of 2 years, and she's really helped me out a lot. She's made me realize that I am a worthwhile piece of shit. Like, I'm not bragging, but it would take like 2 or 3 flushes to get me down that toilet. And so I'm thinking, maybe the clothes make the man, you know what I mean? Like, maybe I need to change my look, because I'm tired of this look of nearsighted Filipino Jesus. Because this look tells you everything you need to know about my personality. I'm like, oh, he seems like the type of guy who listens to angular jazz. On vinyl. Oh, I bet he reads 19th century Russian literature and wants people to know about it. I do. And I just did. Oh, I bet back in high school, Elliott had an unintentional mullet that he tried to play off as a back ponytail with bangs. Mm-hmm. Very difficult to be punk rock when you have a Betty Page haircut. I am Filipino. I'm not too stringent about it. You can call me Filipino. You can call me Asian. You can call me brown Catholic, man. I don't care. Because like I know that I'm like a Rorschach test of whatever your hangups are. Like if you need a Latino to be intimidated by, soy extranjero con pelo negro. If you need a Native American to feel guilty about, I'll let my hair down. I'll stand in that corner heroically. Look to the sky majestically. The only thing that bugs me is when people call me ethnic. Ethnic is just a polite way of saying, I don't know what you are, but I wish you were white. I was raised Catholic, I was raised Catholic and I'm liberal, so my liberal guilt is mixing with my Catholic guilt, making me suffer from apex predator guilt. I feel terrible about everything right now. Like I feel guilty about the fact that I'm holding the mic in my right hand instead of my left. And for those of you who don't know what Catholic guilt is, I'm going to explain it to you godless heathens. And Catholic guilt is this. It is being taken to the side by someone you trust when you are 6 and being told, hey, let me tell you about a guy named God. He's all-knowing, all-powerful, perfect in every single way. He's never made a mistake. Until you were born. Elliott. Good luck living with that for the next 60 years of your life. Like, oh my God. Thank God I don't believe in God anymore. Because like when I was a kid, I wanted to be a priest. I still dress like a priest. But like I would have been terrible, man. I would have been the type of priest that like takes a smoke break in the middle of a homily. Or like spikes the communal wine with some vodka to get some hair of the Messiah. I like that one. I actually learned that a ex-girlfriend of mine is now a nun. And I thought, how awful a person do I have to be to make a beautiful, intelligent young woman take a vow of chastity and poverty just to avoid my drunken texts. But then I thought, don't be too hard on yourself, Vel. Maybe, after you, there is only God. I blame my mother for making me Catholic. That's her fault. And my mom and I have a very interesting relationship. I was at work one day, and my mom texts me, I've buried the body. Now what? I was like, no, not going to deal with that. No, thank you. And I wasn't going to deal with it until my friend talked to me, and she goes, you should really talk to your mom about that. And I was like, you're right, I should talk to my mom about that. So I called my mom up, and I asked her about it very delicately, because A, she's my mother. She deserves respect. B, she could be a murderess, and I don't want to be on her bad list. Like, the thing is, I imagine if my mom kills a guy, she is going to spit and then say something threatening in Spanish. Vaya con Dios. Like, that's what I imagine. And so I call my mom up, and I'm like, hey, Mom, what's up with that text that you sent? And I got the high voice because that says, I'm not a threat. And she said, you weren't supposed to see that. And she hangs up the phone. And I was like, oh, shit. Things just got real. So I was looking into I made a plan. I have to fly down to California, burn down my childhood home, because, like, I've seen CSI. I know how it works. And we'd go down to Mexico and start our lives over as La Rosas. And before I'm about to buy the plane tickets, I call my mom up one more time. And I say, look, you've got to tell me what's going on right now, because I'm about to make some life-altering decisions based on that text message. And she goes, nobody believed me when I told them I could do it. And they pushed me, and they pushed me, and they pushed me. But I showed them, and I showed you that I can play a practical joke. Remember when your mom convinced you she killed a guy? I do. Oh, it's not all that way, though. I have a niece, and I love my niece. My niece is awesome, man. My niece gives me hope for the future. She's smart, man. She is super smart. Like, my niece has conned me twice in our lives. She's 6 years old. And the first time was we were at the park, and she goes, "Hey, Uncle El, would you give me a piggyback ride?" I was like, "I don't know, hon. My back's pretty bad, and I don't think it's a good idea." And she goes, "That's okay. Uncle Travy's faster anyways." I'm like, "Bullshit, get on my back." The second time, she conned me out of money, man. We were at the mall, and we're walking, and she goes, "Hey, Uncle El, what's that?" And I was like, "Oh, that's a photo booth." Before we had cell phones, so the government could track our every activity, we went to photo booths. And she goes, "Oh, okay. Could we go inside?" I was like, "Absolutely, dear." And we go inside, and, the camera's at, adult person height, right? And she's too small for it. So she just automatically jumps on my lap, and she's perfect center in frame. And if I want to see my stupid face, I have to, look like this, just like a giant goon. And she goes, "What are those buttons for?" And I was like, "Oh, no, let's check it out." And I started pressing it, and I was like, "Oh, it looks like it changes the background." And she goes, "Well, I hope there's a pink zebra background." I was like, "That's pretty specific, darling." "Oh my God, there is! Look at that!" And she goes, "Okay, put the $5 in now." I was like, "I will." Ah, damn it! I have a niece, and she has a little sister, and I pray to God that kid's dumb as rocks, man. Because if I have two intelligent nieces to deal with, I'm gonna do terrible things. "Hey, Uncle El, what's that?" "Oh, that's the man that you told me to kidnap." "I don't know why I did it." "Oh, okay, put the knife in him." "All right, I'll put the..." Damn. That's the third one. And I liked it. Let's go to work now. I actually, the guy who fantasizes about his niece telling him to kill people, was part of the party planning committee at my job. Because this looks like it knows how to have a good time. This looks like it knows how to boogie. We were doing this thing where we were going to have we were going to bring people in and have it be like a high class restaurant, right? And we were going to make the sodas that we had seem classy. And it was my job to find a way to make Diet Coke seem classy. Do you want to know how to do it? I'll tell you right now. You call it Diet Coke, you call it Coke. Silver label. You're welcome. I took 9 hours thinking of that. And I work in a cancer research institute, and that is the first time I ever felt like I made a difference in this world. Before this, I had a very menial position at a orthopedics institute, and I was getting interviewed, and I don't know why my brain just decided to not care. It just did when I had this interview, and I sit down to the interview, and it's this the main boss is seated across from me, and she starts it off by going like, "Hey, Elliott, I just want you to know, if we offer you this position, we want you to take it not because you need it, but because you want it." And if I were a liar, I would have said, "Well, who hasn't spent all their life dreaming of collating paperwork, faxing paperwork, and mailing paperwork?" And if I were someone who told the truth all the time, I would have been like, "Nope, I'm out of money, and I need to scam it from somebody, and you seem like my mark." Instead, I opted for the middle path, and I just said, "Oh, I could see why you would want that." Which is just saying, "I acknowledge you've said something. Let's move on, shall we?" And she asked me standard questions, right? She goes like, "What are your strengths?" And I don't know why I said this, but my strengths, well, I'm vegan. So you don't need to tell this boy to eat his vegetables. And I wear all black all the time, so if we have an impromptu funeral to go to, I'm dressed to impress. And she goes, "Okay." And She goes, what are your weaknesses? I was like, without a doubt, it is the fact that I am myopic. My optometrist has told me this many times. And here's the thing, I got the job not because of that awesome interview. I got that job because I had a friend who worked there. And she said that the boss came up to her and she's like, Elliott's a weird guy, isn't he? And she goes, oh yeah, but he'll never miss a day. So be weird, but be on time. I feel like you guys are on board with me, and I can't stand it, so I'm going to turn you against me. I hate it. Okay, so here it is. How many people here like the Muppets? You're all dumb. You're all dumb idiots. I hate the Muppets because they ruined my appreciation of Danish philosophy. Is that the most pretentious thing you're going to hear tonight? Yeah, you bet it is. You thought it was angular jazz, not even close. Here's why I hate the Muppets, right? My favorite Danish philosopher is Søren Kierkegaard. Do you hear how carefully I say that? That's because there are 5 vowels in his name. And whenever there are 5 or more vowels in a person's name, my brain just automatically switches to Swedish chef mode. So the way I want to say his name is Søren Kierkegaard. Very difficult to sound intelligent if that's the way you want to say your favorite philosopher's name. Like, hey, Elle, what do you think of Fear and Trembling? Oh, what do I think of Søren Kierkegaard's Fear and Trembling? I think hurdy-durdy-durdy, bork, bork, bork. That's my philosophy. I am certain that is the reason I did not get into grad school. Actually, after I told that joke, I was walking with a young woman back to her car, and she said, you know, your jokes are pretentious, yet approachable. Thank you. That's also the same week that my friend told me that his friend said I reminded her of an 1830s hipster. I don't even know what that means, man. Like, do I just seem like a guy who was into indoor plumbing before it was cool? I'm fine with that. Does it seem like I used mustache wax when it was appropriate? Okay. But my name is Elliott Rose, right? And if you go to elliotrose.com, you're going to get redirected to elliotrose.co.uk, where my name is the URL for Elliott Rose Apothecary. That is an upscale Bed Bath & Beyond with a hint of English classism. And I have this vague fear that they're just going to contact me and send me a cease and desist letter. Like, we don't want our beautiful soaps to be associated with your terrible life. No, I totally agree, man. I don't want to be associated with it either. Like, I wish I had a more masculine name. Like, I don't know, Hetero Manford. Like, Hetero Manford is the name of a cheap, awful beer that frat boys drink right before their first gay experience. I've been thinking a lot about what it means to be cool, which means that I'm lame automatically. And I'm okay with it. But weirdly enough, this is the coolest I've ever felt in my entire life, man. But like, I'm not age-appropriate cool. Like, I'm not 31-year-old guy cool. Like, I'm cool for a 48-year-old divorced gay guy with a limp. Like, that's where I am. Like, if I were your uncle, man, I'd have your back, dude. Like, I see you watching Cinemax after midnight, when it's known as Skinemax. You do you, man. Just don't do you all over the couch. That's gross and it's leather. Weirdly, back in high school, I was, oh my God, I was mind-numbingly lame. Like, here's my actual high school yearbook quote, okay? My high school yearbook quote was, "Don't reach for the stars if you can't touch your toes." Elliott Rose, age 17. Like, I wish I had just gone full bore, man. Like, I wish I had gone historically lame. Like, I wish I had written something like, "Every jacket's a Letterman jacket when you know embroidery." Elliott Rose, age 17. Let's see. Is it strange that I just assume I'm eventually going to be homeless? Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm just like, roofs are too good for me, man. I can't handle it. So, like, whenever I see homeless people, like, I'm very courteous to them because they're my future neighbors. And I was coming out of QFC, and a homeless gentleman was waiting outside, and he very politely asked me, "Buy me dinner!" To which I replied, "Only if it's a romantic one." And he looked at me, and he goes, "You're not my type." That's a new level of rejection. Anyone here remember their first kiss? Yeah, liars. I don't remember it either. I don't remember my first kiss. I don't remember the woman that made me a member of that club. But I remember being somebody else's first kiss, and poor girl. She was a 24-year-old former Mormon missionary, and I was an 18-year-old ne'er-do-well with a fondness for Dickensian slang. And she's putting the moves on me, and I'm not even seeing it, right? She's seated real close to me. She puts a blanket over the two of us, and I'm just thinking, if there's a color darker than black, I'm gonna start wearing that instead. And finally she just goes, "Elliott, I've never been kissed before, and I want to be kissed, and I want you to want to kiss me." And I was like, awesome. Someone who wants something from me that isn't a debt collector. I'm gonna milk it for all it's worth. And I asked her, "Well, what would make you want to get kissed by a guy like me?" And she goes, "Well, I think you're handsome," which is code for none of my friends do. And also, you're really smart, which she's totally right about. And so we lean in to kiss, and she puts her hand on my stomach, and I'm a little bit weird. I don't like to be touched by people unless I'm really familiar with them. So we lean in to kiss. She puts her hand on my stomach. I spasm and headbutt her in the face. And she's like, "Jesus Christ, why would you do that?" And I'm trying to cover for how weird I am. I'm just like, I just wanted to see how badly you wanted it. Oh, I forgot to mention this. I have my niece, and I'm like her cool uncle right now, right? Because long hair, terrible personal finance. And like, I'm worried that I'm gonna become her scumbag uncle, right? Until I realized every cool uncle becomes the scumbag uncle. The only thing that changes is the child's age. Because like, it's cool when you are 13 and wearing black for the very first time in your life, and an adult tells you, "Man, your parents are such narcs." Want some weed? But it's way less cool when that kid is 27 and has an advanced degree, and that same adult is like, "Man, your parents are still such narcs." Do you got any weed? Yeah, that's what that happened. Well, that's not even a word. No, that's not even a phrase. I do actually have some very serious opinions about marriage. I'm going to tell you about it. I think if you're between the ages of 18 to 27 and you want to get married, shut up. Just don't talk about it. Like, whenever I get one of those, just, "You are cordially invited to the trash." Hey. Thanks for RSVPing so quickly. Because, like, it's not a celebration, it's an experiment. And the experiment is to see whether you can love someone other than yourself for the rest of your life. Spoiler alert, you can't. Second marriage, I'm on board, man. You got skin in the game. You're a little bit desperate now. I respect desperation. So I'll go to that. Third marriage, man, you might as well take up smoking. You're a fan of terrible decisions. In fact, you should smoke at the altar. Just, do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded bride? Hold on, Padre. Put the cigarette out on the pillow that held your engagement ring. Yeah, let's do this thing. High five. Even though I come down on marriage, I do have very strong opinions about sex. I think sex would be better if it was just a high five that ended with orgasms. Because it takes care of all the problems that men typically have. Premature high five? That doesn't exist, my friend. She's not ready for you the first time. Windmill it. And you don't need to explain to her that the reason that your arm went limp all of a sudden is because you thought about your crippled 80-year-old aunt. I feel terrible about saying that joke, but I like it too much. I don't know. I am learning about my limitations, man. I'm in my 30s. I'm learning about it. It's coming on. It's coming hard. It's coming fast. And I learned that I am not good at emojis. Just not a thing I can do. Because, like, it is just a regular sentence interrupted by a sudden game of Pictionary. Oh, you thought we were going to give you directions to our house, but interpret this, jackass. Left turn signal, dolphin, log cabin. Oh, no. Turn left at the underwater bungalow? Not even close, jackass. Damn, it's never the underwater bungalow. Like, the way that I learned that was I was talking to this younger woman, and I don't know why I thought this was a good idea, but I texted her, Scheiße is the German word for poop. And she responded with, the stranger the better, thumbs up, heart, prayer hands. I don't know what that means. The stranger the better, I like it, I love it. I might have to go to church on Sunday. Like, I think, like, I would get emojis better if I just put it in a different context. Like, if it was just hieroglyphics for the modern era, right? Like, that makes sense to me. And it would make history come alive. Like, if all of the pyramids' hieroglyphics were just one lonely scribe being rejected by every single woman in ancient Egypt. He's just like, sun god, Ra, coffee, heart, question mark? And she's just like, Asp, Anubis, picture of her boyfriend Chad. Netflix Ice Cube. I don't know, man. I am like every time I hope that girl's gonna say yes to that scribe, but then I think, nah, man, the loneliness is your punchline. The punchline is your loneliness. Let's see, where do I want to go from there? Let me try that again so that we can have an edit point. The punchline is your loneliness. I don't want you guys to think that I hate love or I hate women. I am a feminist, and I know that's not a popular opinion to have in Seattle. I am a feminist, and I just think, you go, girl, whenever they're breaking up with me. I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about, you ever have those moments of introspection where you realize that your ex was totally right about you? My ex said I was morbid, and like, duh. I wear all black, and I think about death a lot. It makes sense. And like, I think about death a lot because I want to put the fun in funerals, man. Like, here's what I made my friends guarantee me, my best friends. When I die, I've made them guarantee me that on my grave, they put get well soon cards. because I want other people to see that and be like, that guy has the stupidest friends. I'm not good at accepting love. The first time an ex ever told me, I love you, Elliott, my response was, you also love Gogol Bordello, and they're a stupid gypsy band that nobody likes. So no thank you to that. And I have this real fondness for like repeating a phrase, right? Like so, one of my favorite things to say is like, "Who's the idiot now, idiot?" Or "You and I are enemies, you and I." So I sent my friend a text message that read, "See ya losers later, losers." And she responded with, you know, for like 20 seconds there, I thought, is this Elliott's way of telling me he's going to kill himself? And like, I hope I say something real dumb like that before I die. Like, I want to be brave in that way. Like, I hope when I am like 70 or whatever, that, you know, I'm on my deathbed and I'm surrounded by everyone, my family and friends, and everyone that I've ever told that I loved. And and they're like, Elliott, do you want to say anything before you pass? And like it almost seems like I'm too weak to be able to say anything, but I muster the strength. They gather closer, and I just say, every jacket's a Letterman jacket when you know embroidery, Elliott Rose. You guys, we've had a lot of fun tonight. And I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, but I just know that I want to be good at comedy. I want to be the best at comedy, because I want to take my success and rub it in the face of everyone who's ever supported me. And I'm going to tell you the truth right now. I've actually been on the Comedians of Comedy. I was on television on the Comedians of Comedy with Zach Galifianakis, Patton Oswalt, and Sarah Silverman. I was in the audience. And I didn't realize I was on TV until my buddy called me up. He's like, "Oh my God, El, you were on TV, buddy." And I was like, "Really? Was it awesome?" And he goes, "You'll see." And so I'm watching a rerun of the Comedians of Comedy, and Sarah Silverman comes up, and her very first line is, "Boy, there sure are a lot of dorks in the audience." Cut to my face. Oh my God, and the look on my face, it looked like I was so thankful that Sarah finally recognized who I was. I was like, she's talking about me, you guys. Dork 5. Here's the thing. I did not see Sarah Silverman perform that night. She performed the night after I was there. So what that means is when they were putting the show together, they were like, Sarah's got this great joke about dorks. Who's the biggest dork in the audience? That guy. This guy right here. Anyway, thank you very much. I'm Elliott Rose.